Good morning, Arthur Rafferty, ASNI-TV. Now, after reading that load of crap by the RUCPSNI in their favourite daily rag paper, the Daily Mirror, about drugs, the RUCPSNI spokesperson, D.S. McMullen, talks about a crackdown on drug dealers. Now, I run the Arthur Rafferty Foundation, a victims group, and I am inundated with calls from members of the public asking for help against known drug dealers. These dealers flood the area with their dope, and one in particular, who I had a long talk with, tells me that he is under the protection of the RUCPSNI. He is an informer, so that gives him a free hand to sell his dope, and that there are many others like him. And this so-called senior officer in the Force's Organised Crime Branch, D.S. McMullen, has the affront to state that the RUCPSNI are getting ready for a war on drugs. I don't know what planet D.S. McMullen is living on, as my organisation has spoke to Woodburn RUC station in West Belfast at least a half a dozen times about drug dealers, and so far nothing has ever happened, no follow-up. I found it to be a total waste of my time. Also, while I am on the subject of the RUCPSNI, our so-called Chief Constable George Hamilton stated that his police force's first priority is to hunt down criminals and bring them before the courts so that they can be put in jail. Then, would George Hamilton please explain to me why the man who murdered my father, shot him 5 times in the back? My father was an unarmed man 41 years ago, has never been arrested. You know who he is, and also your previous chief constables for the past 41 years also know who he was. You corrupt scum have withheld vital information about serious crimes. You are all guilty of gross misconduct. You are all guilty of perjury. There was a conspiracy of silence in the RUCPSNI in my father's case, as well as at least 60 other innocent victims murdered by this man. The British forces, as well as the RUCPSNI, gave this man complete freedom to murder and kill on their command, and told him he was untouchable and would never stand trial for his deeds. All the innocent people he killed were expendable in the eyes of the British state and the RUCPSNI, meaning able to sacrifice to achieve an agenda. God have mercy on those innocent victims. This so-called police force, who were supposed to uphold law and order, turned a blind eye to what was going on, as did those corrupt officers of the police ombudsman, especially under the watch of Al Hutchinson and Michael Maguire, who were totally run by the RUCPSNI. Now, that scum who murdered my father and many other innocent people has been hid and sheltered by the British state and the RUCPSNI for over 40 years. His name was Freddie Scappaticci. He was a Sinn Féin IRA informer who was paid out of the public purse by the corrupt RUCPSNI. Also, I would like our Chief Constable to let me know how many of those corrupt scum MLAs and MPs at Stormont who stole hundreds of thousands of pounds out of the public purse. The BBC Spotlight show named and shamed them all. Yet his so-called police force, who are supposed to be at war on crime, have not arrested anyone, has not questioned anyone. After all, these MLAs and the MPs committed fraud. Also, I would ask the decent people to remember these thieving scum on the 7th of May when they go to the polling station to cast their vote. These are the scum who stole your money, and that RUCPSNI done nothing about it. It makes you wonder, what sort of a police force have we? Now, to finish, a word about our so-called First Minister, Peter Robertson. I see at long last he has jumped on the bandwagon to speak about the Kincora sex scandal. It took him a very long time to come forward and say something about that scandal. A sex scandal that involved many unionist politicians, many businessmen, many top RUC men, many top British Army men, also British Army agents, and not forgetting churchmen. Now Peter wants the public purse to buy Kincora House so that it can be pulled down. As the old saying is, out of sight, out of mind. Why doesn't Peter stand up and grow a pair and name these politicians who were involved in the sex scandal? Whether they are dead or alive, they deserve to be named and shamed. As the owner of the Kincora House, Mr. Black said, it's not the fault of the house, it's the fault of those filthy paedophiles and those businessmen, RUC, British Army, churchmen who were allowed to use the house for their filthy pleasure. These are the people who need to be pulled down, and not the innocent house. Now, my investigative reporter has just finished 5 long years of looking into the Kincora scandal. Now, I will be putting the story on my site in YouTube to let the public know the truth of what happened in Kincora. These sick people may not like my story, but I will be naming and shaming these individuals at long last. Now, anyone who would like a tape of this story, or any one of my stories, can call me on my mobile 07715921137. Leave your name and address and I will send you a tip free. Thank you. Anyone who has a story to tell and wishes me to air it can call me on my mobile 07715921137, or I can send a reporter out to get your story. And remember, I will tell your story as you tell me. Nothing will be cut out. Now watch more of my stories on YouTube, ArthurRafferty.com, YouTube Arthur Rafferty, Arthur Rafferty Docker, YouTube Jackspot 2012. That is a tip about the brutal murder of my father by a 5-man gang of Sinn Féin IRA, all paid police informers, led by Freddie Scappaticci on the orders of the British government, the RUCPSNI and the Special Branch. That Sinn Féin IRA scum Scappaticci carried out their orders on their command. Now my email is arthurrafferty1@gmail.com. Thank you for watching AASNI TV, and good morning, and I will see you soon.